My name is Mike Higgins, and I am a father, a pastor, a husband, a dean of students of a seminary, a minister. I'm a full colonel in the United States Army, and I have Tourette syndrome. First time I heard the word Tourette syndrome from the doctor, I had no idea of what he was talking about. I had never heard of it. I didn't know anybody who had ever heard of it before. There were a lot of days as a, 12-year-old when I would lay in bed and think about what was happening to me that I could not control. That did cause me to wonder, why was I born like this? I think I was never diagnosed until I was 28 because the doctors that we had as family doctors, I really don't think they knew what Tourette syndrome was. My Army physicals, I would go in, I could try to control the tics long enough. Sometimes I couldn't, but I was never ticking bad enough to where family or Army doctors could say, hey, I think there's something going on here. It was actually after I came out of the desert in Death Valley, California, training for about 3 weeks, and I was really hot, really dirty, really tired, and my tics were just kind of all over the place. I mean, my legs were kicking, and my battalion commander, he noticed that, and he really ordered me to get it checked out because I just said that's what I do. Finally, I ran into a neurologist out in an Army hospital in Denver, and he had just recently studied Tourette syndrome, and he sat down with me for about a half hour, and he finally just asked me, he said, is there anybody in your family who've ever had this? And I said, well, my grandfather did. And he said, I think I know what you have. I don't think I was ever going to be married because it seemed like it's just hard enough to just be single with Tourette syndrome than to try to raise a family with it. But in my family life, it's just who I am. I'm kind of, my dad has Tourette syndrome, but, Tourette syndrome doesn't have him. I think that Renee was such a spiritually mature woman, and I still look up to her because she's been kind of my champion in all of this and helping me along and just really kind of been there by my side, but never treated me as a victim and refuses to let me be a victim. The churches that I've been in have very, I would say, celebratory worship styles, and I play the tambourine, and that's kind of how my tic disorder is. I'm moving, and I'm told that when I'm preaching, I don't tic a lot at all, and sometimes I don't even tic when I'm preaching. It seems like there's kind of a little grace period that I get when I'm focused on something that I'm passionate about. If we can educate the ministers, pastors, religious leaders about Tourette's, then they can go on to educate folks in their congregations, families of children with Tourette's, and also folks who don't understand what Tourette's is. There's a need for the folks who are actually in a religious context to be able to say, we want you to step outside of religion so that you might be diagnosed by the medical community. And because pastors are given that type of trust, people are more liable to do it because the pastor thinks it's a good idea. I don't think Tourette's takes away your dreams. I just think that it may put an extra wall or two between you and accomplishing your dreams. but you can get over the walls. As I say, you may have Tourette's syndrome, but it doesn't have to have you.